Well, Louisville, that is one way to get out of your annual rivalry game with Kentucky. And if you guys haven't heard, the annual Kentucky Louisville rivalry has been postponed, aka it's going to be canceled. We all know that. You can only schedule 31 games, and with Kentucky looking to schedule somebody Wednesday or Thursday, we all know the game is not going to get rescheduled. And Louisville's claiming that they have COVID problems within their program. Now, they had COVID problems Saturday when they went down to Bowling Green and got bent over and got their cheeks busted by Western Kentucky on the road. They had their starting center out in that game, and he was the only one at that time that tested positive for COVID. Now, please answer me this question. If you guys can go down to Bowling Green and get your cheeks busted, then how come you guys can't come to Lexington and get your cheeks busted Wednesday night for the annual rivalry game? And to me, this has gotten absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Teams are now starting to use COVID tracing, whatever. Even if it is asymptomatic players, if asymptomatic players are testing positive, we just need to, if we're ever going to get back to somewhat normal seasons, asymptomatic players need to start playing in these games. That's a discussion for another video if we want to ever get back to a normal sports season. But another thing that needs to stop is teams using COVID as, oh, sorry, my hand got in the way there. Teams using COVID as an excuse to get out of games that they don't want to play in. This is getting out of hand. We have teams literally testing positive, having one player on a team test positive, and cancel games. And, and this time it's cost one of the best rivalries in all of college basketball to get postponed this year. And in my opinion, it's just getting out of hand. Last year, you had Michigan run away scared with their tail between their legs instead of going down to Columbus and getting their yearly cheek busted from Ohio State in football last year. This year, we're losing another rivalry game in the Kentucky-Louisville game because Louisville just simply doesn't want to come to Lexington and get their shit pushed in for 2 hours by the Cats. This is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. They have one player that's out with COVID, and they could go and play Western Kentucky and get their cheeks busted, but can't come to Lexington. The NCAA really needs to step in and start saying, if you can field a team, play the games. Play them. This is ridiculous. Especially when you got somebody like me. I live 4 hours away from Lexington, took the vacation time off to go down and watch the game. And of course, now that's probably going to be mute, maybe, depending on who Kentucky can find to schedule. But the NCAA needs to step in and say, if you can field a team, play the games, or forfeit them. There doesn't need to be any more of this whole, we have one player, two players that have tested positive crap. Play the games. There's no reason to be sitting around and be essentially trying to reschedule, which we all know. Like I said, Kentucky's going to schedule somebody to play Wednesday or Thursday, so the game's not actually going to get played. Louisville should have to forfeit this game. Period, point blank. And it says the same for anybody else who is only having one player test positive and they're canceling games and shutting down their programs. If you can field a team, play the games, or have the NCAA step in and say these teams have to forfeit. This is truly getting out of hand because this isn't the only game to happen like this. Quite a few different teams have done this to avoid games they don't want to play in all across college sports the last year than this year. Well, little bear over there. I actually have those pictures down there. I just haven't noticed how bare that actually looks. But I'll actually get all that stuff back up one day. But that's another topic. Just happened to notice that. But I guess in some other news for college basketball, NC State is on probation. I'm sure everybody probably knows by now. Now, is it really probation when... Okay, actually, before I talk about the NC State thing, I want to get back 1 minute to the Kentucky-Louisville thing. Now, Kentucky's actually looking to schedule somebody for Wednesday and or Thursday. And so far, they were kind of looking to play Texas, Florida State, which they can't play because Florida State has their program shut down right now for COVID. And Gonzaga. Now, the Gonzaga, that would be really awesome. And I'd love to see a home and home there, but it would definitely be a really awesome game to have Gonzaga inside Rupp Arena, then watch the Cats go to Spokane potentially the next year. I think that'd be the only way you'd probably get that to happen. Now there's even some talks of Wisconsin. That'd be nice to avenge that 2015 loss to Wisconsin, ending our perfect season. But another one was Texas, but they've decided to go ahead and they've scheduled Alabama State, I believe. So that kind of stings a little bit. I just really hope that we don't get another cupcake on the schedule. We've had enough cupcakes, in my opinion, on the Kentucky, especially for the home slate. But like I was saying, back to the NC State thing. Sorry, I wanted to go back and say that. But is it really probation when NC State's not really doing anything different going forward? They already had their self-imposed recruiting restrictions and all that. That was already self-imposed there. And then they end up going in they don't have any kind of postseason ban. Now, I've always said, if you want to deter, these were serious recruiting violations at the time. And I'm glad they're not vacating wins. I think vacating wins is the stupidest thing in the world. Acting like those games didn't even happen. But if you want to deter cheating, you have to start punishing these teams going forward. They don't have no postseason ban or nothing like that. And I just think that's kind of wrong, in my opinion. These were major recruiting. The only thing is their head coach has a 1-year show clause, and a former assistant has a 7-year show clause. Big whoop. But like I said, if you want to really deter cheating, then I really think that you need to really punish teams going forward instead of doing things, punishing things in the past. You really, take away wins and stuff like that. But they already self-imposed some of these things that would normally be part of the punishment. So why is there no postseason ban for these teams who were out illegally paying players? Like I'm drawing a blank on the player's name for NC State. They got paid, and his family received like $40-some thousand. That's quite a bit of a little chunk of change there for one player to come and play for your school. It's not act like none of these other schools have been paying players all along. That's another discussion for another time. But what has NC State kind of learned here was, we gave ourselves a little recruiting sanction here, and that's been about it. But Vegas, I guess I've had enough of a little rant. It's pretty pathetic that Louisville wants to use COVID to get out of the game this week. But it really sunk to a new low there, Cardinals. And don't think that Kentucky's going to take another trip to the chicken bucket next year because you guys are too scared to come to Rupp Arena.